start the quick induction again. Now that we have practiced, we know how we feel, we know how the body feels, the emotions feels, the mind feels when we move to an alpha state. We know now the path to follow naturally. We don't need to force the body. We don't know to fight. We don't need to fight the emotions. We don't need to fight the thoughts. We just need to let things be. We just need to stop fighting, to stop going against life, against our sensations, against our thoughts, against our emotions. We just know how to move to that zone of peaceful relaxation in which the past doesn't matter, in which the future is not important, in which we rest in the now. We observe our breathing. We purposely and without any force, just gentle, we extend slightly our breathing out. So it makes the inhaling deeper and brief. And we feel how the body adapts to that rhythm very nicely. Our bodies say thanks, tells us how happy it is just melting down, removing every pressure in every muscle, any tensions in every organ, every cell. Move to the sleep state. And our minds get sharper and sharper. All that energy that we put in the future, in all those worries, uncertainties, all that energy that we put in the past with nostalgia, with regrets, with bad memories, good memories, Just move to the present and create a very sharp mind. That dual hammer is now a sharp knife. All the energy is just in the sharpness of the knife. And we experience full attention, full awareness. And we are going to move deeper and deeper in this state, counting down from 10 to 1. Our body will go to sleep and our mind will awake. 10, 9, 8, deeper and deeper. 7, 6, 5, 4, deeper and deeper. 3, 2, deeper and deeper. 1. We can hear the silence in our mind, that humming, that buzzing. We can feel the peace. We transport ourselves to that field with mountains, with blue skies, with that magnificent river, with those fields full of gentle grass, of trees, with delicious fruits. Everything in that field is our friend. We can feel the winds, fresh, warm, nice. We see ourselves in complete health, in complete youth, in complete energy. We observe that everything surrounding us has everything we need. In that space, every need is satisfied. We are in full connection with our Mother Earth. We can feel the peace the abundance. We feel an enormous compassion for ourselves. We feel gratitude for everything we have. And we recognize them. And in this field, suddenly just appear another one of us. Like a twin. It is us, but is separated from us in some point. In this moment, in this field, we can observe it. That is the image that we have about ourselves. That is our ego. We observe it and we see in this moment a particular characteristic of our ego. It is a belief that we have about ourselves. One particular characteristic, one thing that our ego has been fighting its whole life. It is something that our ego believes about itself very strongly. Just remain in that beautiful land, but just observe your ego. You can see that most of the energy of that beautiful field start to suffer, start to get blurry, because that amazing energy of the ego, of that belief of that ego, that image, is full of cultural values, is full of experiences. We have been putting too much energy in that particular part of that ego. It is so strong in our lives that we have been giving all our budget, all our bandwidth to that particular part of the ego. That is what defined us. That is what the life has been passing through. That is what we fight for every day. And now in this beautiful field, that doesn't match. We actually see how it drags most of the energy of our peaceful, nicely placed. It wants to drag that energy. But we remain peacefully there. Just observe your ego. Observe how many strings of energy it has to so many things. So what has defining? How has been defining our ego? How many dependencies that has? That belief, it has a dependency, two dependencies, three dependencies of external factors. It doesn't sustain by itself. It depends of a profession. It depends of attitudes of others. It depends of material things. It depends of the body. It depends of a society. Something is sustaining that. It has many attachments. Observe that dependencies. So observe how the ego, what has been defending that image, that belief, that position to avoid to be hurt, that perspective of life. Just observe it. That is what has been defining us for many, many years. See how much we have been fighting to fit that perspective, that point of view, to be loved, to be accepted. How many energy, how many studies, how many work we put in that ego. And in this beautiful field, full of abundance, full of trust, full of compassion, full of happiness, in which we are completely free, that ego doesn't match. And we ask the question, what that ego has been rejecting its whole life, what that ego has been desiring its whole life, what that ego has been hating, rejecting, fighting to take away, killing, destroying, not accepting, and what that ego has been desiring, wishing, dreaming about, what that ego things that is needed to satisfy those desires. And recognize that in one point of life, all those things that the ego has been fighting for can disappear. That life is constantly changing, and that ego can freeze the moment, can freeze, want to freeze the life. And life is in constant movement, in constant change. So observe the suffering of that ego. If what has been defining us is a profession, is a title, to be parents, to be engineers, to be doctors, to be actors, to be childs, to be white, black, Latinos, Republicans, Democrats. If one have been defining us with all those habits, I like, I dislike, those things can disappear at any moment. Life change. Those things that we believe can destroy that ego that we have been hating, can show up at any moment with incredible force. We realize that, and we observe our field full of abundance. We observe those golden coins in our hands, in our pockets. We observe those golden seeds. We see all those trees, all the sky, all the mountains. We see everything that the ego has been ignoring. And we smile with compassion to that ego. That ego is just a lost child that have lost the way, that lives in an illusion, wasting our time or energy. But in this field cannot be any resentment, any fight, any hate, any desire. There is just trust, there is faith, there is an enormous peace. And we observe that ego. How many things, how many instants how much life that ego has lost. If we die, if we lost our job, if we lost our family or fortune, all those material things that defines that ego, the profession, one faculty, that ego will suffer. In our place, in this beautiful field full of love, nothing can be lost because everything is transforming, moving. Life provides step by step. We see our lives in a place with no wars, with abundance of food, with an amazing body, in this place in which knowledge is flowing through us. So we feel enormous gratitude. And we embrace that ego. And we say thanks to our ego. We know that that ego has been suffering, but that ego took us here to this moment, to this place in which our perception define our new life. And we see that ego just letting go. And that ego that was dragging all that energy, that looked darker to us, now looks clean and brilliant, shining, beautiful. That ego now looks more like us in this field, full of hope, so ductile, taking multiple shapes, adapting to every step. It is transformed. And the other ego still exists, is there, but we choose not to express it. And with gratitude, we just transcend that state. In this state of peace, we remain. In front of us, there are multiple choices now. And we tell to life, surprise me. We see the menu and we see all these delicious dishes that we want, what we have been wishing all our lives. We go to a restaurant and we always order the same dish. This time we sit in the table of life and we tell to the chef, surprise me. In this state of mind, we come back to our seat. And this room in which we are, laying down, sitting, it is more likely like our beautiful field. And we are going to breathe in gratitude. And we are offer any virtue that we have been collecting in this practice when we exhale to everyone in this world. We are going to see every person healing physically, mentally, emotionally, with that energy that we produced. We send good vibes to Teresa and to every person that is in a healing process, like us. And in that process, we heal ourselves. And we rejoice. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay? We are ready to have the most wonderful day in our lives. Okay?